Hey, Paul, coming at you from my video studio here in Southwest London, United Kingdom. Hey, in this video let's talk about high sensitivity in careers. Now let's have a look at what kind of career suits you best. Let's also have a look about the kind of challenges most high sensitive people have regarding to careers and finances, and why they have them. And then of course let's talk a little bit about your talents and gifts, so you can start to create basically your own career. Alright? So again, you might already be noticing the best career for you is to create your own career, right? Now, of course, many will say, well, I'm not a salesperson, I'm not a marketing guy, I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm not really like that, okay? Now, and I get that, because to be honest with you, I really started marketing and sales, and I also did it for quite some time, right? But more because I was after the money. So I got the intellectual knowledge, but then I hit to a point like, okay, what I'm actually going to do with all this kind of knowledge, right? Also, it starts to feel like, okay, I got it, I know how it works, I get it, I get the intellectual knowledge, but still, it really starts to feel like a job, right? Really like a flatline routine, and it becomes boring, right? It really starts to get boring for me, and chasing down money didn't really motivate me so much anymore, and I really wanted to work from my exploring my other gifts and talents as well, so you might be experiencing that as well. But of course, this type of knowledge, right, this really practical knowledge, is essential if you want to put your own stamp out in the world, right? If you want to really start solving problems in this world, okay, and create your own career. So the basics is very important to learn, to apply, of course, and from there you can move forward. So building your own career. Now this really comes down as well with our personal challenge as well, right? Because hey, chances are most high sensitive people, they are of course great empaths, and what they do is they are concerned about the feelings and emotions from other people, right? And chances are they grow up with someone who was in a constant need of the care, right? The emotional care from you, right? So what we do is we are constantly trying to please other people, and that's why we give away our personal power. So that's one way we give away our personal power. And what it also reflects down is that we create like a victim mentality, right? That's also another way that we give away our personal power. And then of course we become like the resistant fighter, right? I've got a fighter spirit, and it's either I struggle with victimization or with the resistant fighter spirit, right? So it's not really fighting for what we do want, but it's really fighting against what we don't want, right? We look for things in the world that doesn't feel right for us, and then we are like, it's this that we don't like, it's that we don't like, and then we are just giving away our energy. Of course, I'm close to Heathrow. So we're giving away our energy, right, to that what's not really beneficial to us at all. Now, so what is important, right, for your personal life, okay, that will improve your career life, your work life, is to reclaim back your own personal power, okay? Because hey, we are indeed after the self-accusation, right? Because if we give away our personal power, right, what it actually does is it shuts down our lower chakras, right? I hope you know what chakras are. Otherwise I will make another video about it. Let me know. The personal power comes down to the solar plex, right? The solar plex, and below the solar plex is the sacral, right, which stands for our emotional needs, right? Creativity, sexuality, and then the root chakra. So those three lower chakras are very, very important for us, right, to develop, maintain, because we are those high sensitive people, so we are more open up at those higher chakras, right? The third eye and the crown. So we are receiving all that what is out there from the non-physical spiritual realms. And what is important for us, and that's really our job, is to let that down, right, and let that flow through us, right, so we can start to express it, right, through of course practical actions, okay? So that is a way, and that are basically really our true gifts and talents, is that we are more open already, okay? We have this kind of sensitivity, right? And some might start to develop their psychic abilities, clairvoyance, clear seeing and all that kind of things, right? And then it's essential to use that, right, their intuition, because most high sensitive people have like a channel, right, that they can use. They can work with their intuition, that can be very, very useful in day-to-day activities, right? So for example, you have a career, right, in human resources, right? So you're talking to people every single day and you're trying to figure out what kind of position fits better for the person, right? Well, through intuition you can use that. Let's say you are very creative, you're like an artist, okay? Now the beauty about being an artist is walk through nature, right, and boom, they get something, right, perhaps from the higher self, right, the universe or whatever, an idea, and boom, they get back to the computer or back to their art room, right, and start to work and create out that idea, and boom, they give it to the world. Okay, so that's also very, very powerful. Now let's say you are it's more regarding to business, entrepreneurship, marketing, sales, right? So you're also talking to people, you're helping people, you're solving problems, right? And then of course also your intuition, your instinct can be used to really to find out what exactly are the pain points, right, the problems people have, so you can find like better solutions for them. Okay, so this is like entrepreneurship in a higher state of consciousness, so that's also something that's very, very powerful. Okay, so working with people, use those special abilities that can be very, very beneficial for you in your career. Now I spoke a little bit already about our challenges, right? Well, we have a lot of challenges when it really comes down to a career and that kind of things, because like again, we give away so much of our personal power, right, which is not really that good for developing our sense of worth, right, our sense of self-worth. So what we are trying to do, because we lack, right, so many of us, we lack self-knowledge, right, we got no idea who we truly are, right, because we're constantly trying to please others, right, give away our personal power. So what we do is we are trying to do too much our best, trying to fit in and adapt to the world like it is right now, which doesn't work for us, right? Well, what I mean with that is that the regular world, right, it's like the education system. You go through the education system and then boom, you get a label like, okay, now you are an engineer, right, now you are this, now you are that, right, and then you're going to apply for a job and they say, okay, what kind of label do you have on your head, right, let's find the perfect position for you. Okay, now that's really like it's like really like a flat line experience, right, a flat line of life. And so many of us, they believe that that is the best thing for them to do. They don't know any better, they don't really ask themselves any questions, which is their free choice, of course, but we ask ourselves questions like, is that really the way, you know? Again, we are really after experiences, right? We want to experience different kind of things, and we want to learn and explore what the world really has to offer. So this whole kind of idea doesn't really apply for us, but again, we are trying to fit in, right? We're trying to put in that jacket of what the world is describing for us. So again, it's very important that we start to tune in, develop this channel that we have, this high sensitivity channel, so we can get our messages, right? And the best thing, because I also spoke about, you know, it got to be very, very grounded, because everything has to land. So being in nature, right, because nature really inspires creativity, high energy, and it helps you really to ground with planet Earth. So when something comes in, right, an idea or whatever, okay, then take that idea and then go and take action on it, right, and bring it to the world. So I say, you know, marketing is the art of communicating solutions, right, and selling is serving. So those are of course very important skills that you need to learn, even if it's just a little bit of the basics, right, that can get your idea into the world, right? Because what we are doing, because so many things, right, old ideas, old paradigms, old illusions from our current world, right, isn't really in line with our true human nature. So our job is to remind people what their true nature really is, okay, is to let them remember, okay, who they are, where they came from, and who they really are, right, is to let them reconnect with their core essence, is to open up the heart center, right, the heart center of unconditional self-love. Because when we start to develop that, we are being guided to more like activities that we truly love to do, okay, and when we express that to the world, it doesn't really feel like work, it doesn't really feel like effort, and then abundance starts to flow, right? Because we give so much to the world, then the world gives so much back to us. So it's basically like this kind of philosophy that I have, like, hey, we are all like a single drop of water in an ocean of infinite energy. Okay, so if we start to take care of this ocean of infinite energy, then this ocean that is infinite abundance starts to take care for us. So for us, it's our job to reconnect with this infinite field of energy, right? And that really starts with developing this self-love, right? Open up the heart chakra and just be more into nature, right? It's to reconnect. Take really good care for yourself, right? Start to listen in to your higher senses. Use this type of knowledge, use this type of wisdom, apply this into really simple day-to-day problem-solving activities, okay? And then you can basically create your own career. Or either it's something artistic, right? Of course, you want to get your own stamp on this, right? Because that's what we want. We are still a little bit after the recognition, right? We are still a little bit in the process of developing our sense of self-worth, which keep on doing that. I'm doing that every day. Right, so put your own brand on it, right? Create your own brand, and if you create like your own brand, whatever it is, right? Maybe you're into blogging and videos like this, right? Under your own brand, then you also can just recommend products and services that you used for yourself that helps you along the way to become the greatest version of yourself. All right, so that's also a way to start monetizing. Let's say if you say like, hey, I'm really into writing, I'm into videos, I'm into images, I'm into that kind of things, right? Social media marketing. Then create your own brand, right? Create value, tap into your higher senses, right? Use the knowledge, give knowledge to the world, right? Let people remember who they truly are, and then of course you can say like, hey man, I use this kind of marketing tool for my daily operations, or I use this personal development coaching program that helped me with XYZ. Okay, so you can start to recommend products and services as an affiliate. Alright, and then once they buy a product, then you get a commission for it. If you do that long enough, then eventually you can you create your own economy. So Jean-Paul here, hope that was helpful. We spoke a little bit about the challenges most high-sensitive people have. What kind of career should you focus on? Well, that's developing your own career, of course. And then of course what you really need to start to develop are your unique gifts and talents, right? By tapping into your intuition. Pay really good attention to that. Go to local weekly meetings that have some sort of workshop where you can practice that, okay? Which I really start pay attention to it a little bit more as well. Alright, so Jean-Paul, I hope this was helpful. If you've got any questions, please let me know. And if you want to go into more in a career test, then on my website you will find a career test as well that you can dig a little bit deeper in to see what kind of activities really start is resonating best with your kind of personalities, right? So because part of us, we are an introvert, we're an extrovert, and some are a little bit of both. Okay, so then you can really start to figure out like, okay, that's the kind of activity that I want to focus on. Okay, now I know exactly what kind of certifications I need to get, what kind of studies I need to follow, right? Because hey, that's the kind of profession that I focus on. Okay, and from that I put my own stamp on it. So hope this was helpful. Take care for now. Bye bye.